The Disc Golf Pro Tour season has officially come to an end. All that is left is the U.S. Disc Golf Championship and the Pro Tour Championship, and we have a tight race for the MPO Player of the Year. We're going to talk about that and much more, starting with who should be the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so they changed the Rookie of the Year criteria this year. Last year we had Gannon Buhr winning deservedly, and then Juliana Korver winning Rookie of the Year in 2021, five-time world champion Juliana Korver. So they changed it. Obviously that wasn't working, so they changed it, and now these are true rookies, guys that we've never seen on tour before. Some leading names for MPO Rookie of the Year, we have Robert Burridge, who we all saw in a playoff with Simon at the Des Moines Challenge. And that's really his only good finish. He didn't get onto the Pro Tour until OTB, and he's only played, 4 Elite Series events and 2 majors. So that's interesting. And then Evan Scott was mentioned below him as well as an option. Evan Scott's been on tour, but doesn't have a ton of good finishes. Looks like his best finish was, he got 4th at Beaver State Fling. Okay, so Evan Scott sort of been on tour, flirted around with a few lead cards, but didn't do anything major. Robert Burridge is probably more memorable to people.
Yeah, so the PDGA Rookie of the Year rankings, they have these point values. I don't know what the point values stand for, but Robert Burridge is at 60, and the next closest person is Evan Scott at 10 points.
Which seems ridiculous, because Evan Scott's been on tour way more, played in way more events.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that second place finish.
That one second place finish is pretty much and nothing to discredit Robert Burridge. Yeah. It's tough out there, and that second place finish was incredibly impressive. I think our take, or at least my take on it, is they should consider another way to do it. Because we have people like Isaac Robinson, who has played a few Elite Series events in the past. He's played local events. He's from the Southeast, so he's played like USDGC. Sometimes he'll drive up and play Ledgestone. He's played events like that, but this was his first year actually on the Pro Tour, like consistently playing events, which is maybe why they need some sort of Pro Tour card or something like that. Because this is his rookie season, all intents and purposes. Yeah. It's his rookie season, and he won an event. He came in third, and I think he had a couple other top 5 finishes.
Did he get second?
He got second at GMC.
Think,
yeah.
So
yeah, we're a little bit biased, but our vote would probably be for Isaac Robinson to win Rookie of the Year.
We need something between Juliana Korver winning Rookie of the Year and Isaac Robinson getting snubbed from Rookie of the Year. Okay, absolutely. We need something in between, but I think it's an improvement from last year.
It's an improvement.
In the FPO, we have Aria Castrita. Am I probably butchering that? She's listed as the leader from PDGA's Rookie of the Year standings, and then Emma Arp. Now, if these are our 2 candidates, Emma Arp has played 1 Elite Series event. She played Des Moines Challenge. Just 1 Elite Series event. Aria Castrita has played much more than that. Looks like 6 Elite Series events, with her best finish being 14th at Las Vegas Challenge. So I think she's your clear winner.
I'm sure that there are some women though who this is their first time touring. So yeah, I think there needs to be, and I'm sure they're working through this, but there's got to be some sort of system to where it's not like especially for the FPO, it's like whoever showed up and played a couple Pro Tour events for the first time
seriously
has won Rookie of the Year.
Emma being considered having only played 1 event is sort of ridiculous.
Exactly,
But anyway, moving on to most improved in the MPO. So this is kind of a hot category. There's a lot of guys that have jumped up the leaderboards this year. One is kind of funny, Simon Lizotte, right? We're going to talk about him later.
If we're comparing it from the year prior to this current year, most improved. Simon was dealing with injuries last year and did not have a good season.
Not even last year, like years.
Yeah.
He struggled to win for years. And now he's won 4 events.
That's definitely, by definition, I would say the most improved, going from winning no events.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's kind of like Juliana Korver winning Rookie of the Year, but
not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
But another candidate for most improved is Isaac Robinson. If he's not going to win Rookie of the Year,
that's true.
Come on, guys. His best finish, I think, last year would have been USDGC. He finished top 10 USDGC. Yep. But this year, he has won an event, like we said, come in second and come in third, and he did well at Waco as well. So he's been all over the place on tour.
Some other names that have come to mind: Aaron Gossage, obviously having a standout year comparatively, and Corey Ellis is a name that we've been hearing all over the place this season. And not that he has been like completely quiet throughout his career, but this has definitely been a standout season for him in comparison to his previous seasons. So I feel like he would be up there for most improved. And anytime he's in the conversation, he looks solid. I know he struggled at the very end of MVP, the last hole, but it was, I mean, all of that pressure that was on him, and he was in such a good position off the tee, almost at that putt. Yeah, Corey Ellis absolutely killed it this year.
He could definitely realistically win most improved, I think. Yeah. Okay, moving on to FPO most improved. In this category, it's kind of hard. Again, the FPO's been dominated by Kristen and Paige and the likes this year. Mostly Kristen. but we're gonna talk about that later. Some names that came to mind for FPO most improved were Val Mandujano. I know she's sort of fallen off a little bit, but at the beginning of the year we were thinking she might be up there with Paige and Kat and Kristen as one of those top players in the FPO. She had a great start to the year. And then Kat Merch too has been on a lot of lead cards, sort of burst onto the scene this year. Definitely a candidate for FPO most improved.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had heard of Valerie Mandujano. She had made some lead cards here and there, but winning her first event this year, you've seen her name, I know, like a little less towards the second half of the season, but even so, she's been in the running for quite a few tournaments the latter half of the season, and winning her first Elite Series event was a really, I think, milestone moment for not only her, but the whole sport, FPO, like having a cool story like that she got to tell. And I would love to see her win this award for most improved.
Okay, so let's jump into Player of the Year. Let's do FPO first because it's easy. Kristen is your Disc Golf Pro Tour Player of the Year. You might as well give it to her now. It's over. She has dominated the Pro Tour. Even in her absence for the injury, she missed several events. I think more than 4 Elite Series events and majors combined she missed. She's still dominating the Pro Tour points. She is not technically winning the PDGA Player of the Year race. That's based strictly on points of some sort, and we're not even sure how those points work. They're probably earned just per PDGA event, maybe even any event. I'm not sure what classifies the events that gain you points in the PDGA standings, but we don't really need to talk about that because obviously Kristen's your Disc Golf Pro Tour Player of the Year.
It's hard to say. Obviously, Paige Pierce had a pretty good season, not maybe up to Paige Pierce standards, but Kristen Tatar is having almost a Paul McBeth 2015 kind of season. Her worst finish in the U.S. this year was 3rd place. She has not come in anything worse than third place out of all of these. Yeah,
that is really wild. That's exactly like McBeth in 2015. Actually.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, her first place finishes include Jonesboro, DDO, first place at Des Moines, first place at Worlds, of course, first place at Green Mountain, second place at MVP, and every other tournament she played in, she was in 2nd or 3rd. Also Champions Cup. That was so devastating to see. Weird circumstances, a lot of controversy. She had that in the bag.
Yeah,
she played so well. She has been dominant is like not even doing it justice. So if she does not win, I know that it's like points. She was away for a while. If she does not win both the Pro Tour Player of the Year and the PDGA Player of the Year, I think it's going to be a little bit sad. She's definitely deserving of both of those titles.
Yeah, I think if she doesn't win PDGA Player of the Year, we can just decide that award means less. I mean, it really does, because if Kristen is your Player of the Year, unless Paige wins USDGC and the Pro Tour Championship and some other major that they have yet to announce, you know, it would take such a monumental effort for us to forget and to overcome Kristen's accomplishments this year. I don't see it happening. I think Kristen is
100%. And this is obviously going up before USDGC and before the Pro Tour Championship. You guys can let us know what you think in the comments below. Maybe if Paige Pierce comes in first place in both of those and Kristen Tatar doesn't come in the top 3 in both of those, then she would probably be deserving of it.
All right, moving on to our last award, and that's MPO Player of the Year. This is the big one in the MPO, and we have 3 players vying for it. I think we're pretty much down to 3. It would take a huge effort from somebody to climb back into this discussion. I'm not sure anyone else is capable. We have Ricky Wysocki, Paul McBeth, and Simon Lizotte. Okay, so, and I think Ricky and Simon are clearly the leaders right now. I know that Simon has had some worse finishes, which means Ricky is your front runner. He has 4 Elite Series wins, and he's been so consistent. I think his worst finish was like 47th on the tour or something, and it was just one time. He's been so consistent. Simon has had some worse finishes, but he also has 4 wins. Now, the only reason that Paul is in this conversation is because he won Worlds, and the only way that he's catching Ricky is by winning USDGC. I think if he wins USDGC, and especially if Ricky has a bad finish there, then he may leapfrog Simon and Ricky to take the lead in this discussion. And they'll also count in the Pro Tour Championship as well, and they will both be on the bye to the quarterfinals, I believe. They're both they're first and second in Pro Tour points. So
I think we all do know that Paul McBeth has it in him to win USDGC.
Absolutely.
He's a USDGC menace. And on the PDGA side, like we said, it's just according to some points. Paul McBeth has 530 of those points that you get. Somebody can explain that to us in the comments. But Paul McBeth is actually far and away the leader for the PDGA Player of the Year. And that's probably largely due to Worlds. I assume USDGC, whatever these points are, USDGC can give a lot of them in Pro Tour Championship.
One thing I did want to mention is that Ricky did win the Disc Golf Pro Tour point standings. And he won because Gannon Burr tied McBeth at the end of MVP. If McBeth got solo third, he would have won. The points difference was less than 5 points between them.
That's insane.
Absolutely
That's what
crazy.
we like to see.
And then the drop-off is over 130 points to Calvin in third. So Ricky and Paul were right there next to each other. Yeah, anything can happen. I kind of have this feeling that Paul is going to get one of the last 2. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments who you think is going to win the Player of the Year, who we think is going to come down with USDGC and the Pro Tour Championship. And let us know who we missed in this discussion as well. If we left anybody out of any of these awards, let
especially
us know.
Rookie of the Year, because I don't know how that works.
Especially Rookie of the Year.
Thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next one. Stay swanky.
Stay swanky.